Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Take It EV. I'm Greg, and let's gonna have some fun. So today I've got Dan, the battery man from Duracell Energy, and we're gonna be talking about all the Duracell Energy products and battery technology. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me on Take It EV.
No worries. So, you've got a presentation in front of you. Let's just, I'm gonna let you get on with the your introduction. But obviously, like talk to people about who are Duracell Energy, what do you do at Duracell Energy, and introduce yourself basically.
Awesome. Well, my name is Daniel Millar. Started to try and make myself known in the industry as Dan the Battery Man to try and build a bit of self-brand.
That's a superhero.
Yeah, so I've been working with Pure Drive Energy is actually our company name. So I've been working with Pure Drive Energy now for 4.5 years. And we're a local family business based in Cheltenham, the United Kingdom. So we're actually a family business. So it's my dad's company. My brother works with us as well. And over the last 4.5 years, it's been really exciting to be able to see the company grow from only 4 members of staff when I joined to now having over 70 members of staff here in the UK and expanding through to West Europe and South Africa as well.
That's amazing. And obviously you guys provide energy solutions.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a ecosystem of fully integrated products that allow homeowners to get more out of their solar panels. So more and more homes now are getting solar panels installed on their roof, and you can at times get grants for this from the government to reduce the cost of those installs, where it's being incentivized now to actually become more green and reduce your dependence on the grid, where our energy demand globally is continuously growing. So the government are quite keen to push forward with moving to more of a sustainable energy network and decentralizing the energy market, whereas at the moment it's quite centralized, where it's all bought from energy providers essentially.
Okay. And so there's a whole plethora of projects that you guys have, or products that you have apart from the batteries, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So like I said, our ecosystem of products supports homeowners with getting more out of their solar panels. So we've got a variety of products that support people doing that. And all these products communicate together. So we have a home battery system, which works with our hybrid inverter. We also have an EV charger, and we're about to launch a solar diverter as well. So these products will seamlessly communicate together to increase the amount that you can get out of your solar panels.
That's amazing. So you're obviously, like, who's your customer? Is it somebody who doesn't have any solar panels, or would you, talk to me, like I don't have anything, basically. Just tell me, like, sell me, just give me a quick pitch, and then we can talk about technical stuff.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. So if you have a home with or without solar panels, our product can be used. So a lot of homes initially were, in the UK particularly, installed solar panels when the feed-in tariff was around, where the government were paying you for any energy which was exported out to the grid. And now this is no longer a thing. So it reduced initially the payback period of installing solar panels because you weren't getting any money for the energy which was going out to the grid and wasted. You got nothing for that. So now having a battery system allows you to utilize that energy and essentially use the sun at nighttime. So you charge your battery filled with energy from solar panels during the day, and you use that in the evening. And it works quite well because with solar panels alone, actually roughly only 30% of the energy you generate is used in the home, and 70% is wasted out to the grid and unused. So by adding a battery storage system, you can become 90+%, use 90+% of that energy which is generated from your roof, which is really awesome.
It's like a big capacitor basically on the, I mean, for the technically minded electronics people, they'll know what I'm talking about. It smooths the...
That's right. And you can also use batteries without solar panels. So now there's more and more energy providers providing tariffs on the market, which have different prices at different times of the day. A very popular company at the moment in the UK is Octopus Energy.
Yep.
And they've got a variety of tariffs, which are dynamic tariffs. So they've got like Octopus Agile, which has different pricing every half an hour. And this is updated daily. So the prices are different every half an hour, and this changes every 24 hours. And this is based upon, how much sun is shining, how much wind is generating. So the energy price essentially for the homeowner varies depending on how much they would pay for it, as how much Octopus have to pay for it, rather than it being like a fixed rate.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get paid for it if you believe it or not, to just get the energy out of them. Usually at night, doesn't happen very often these days, but yeah, I think it's because it costs less money to shut down to give people money instead of shutting down a power plant for 2-3 hours to and then spin it back up if it's like a gas power plant. Obviously, we don't want that, but you want to store the energy when the energy is the greenest, if that's your thing, or if you want a quicker payback on your installation, then you basically get the cheapest energy at night and then use it during the day when the energy is more expensive, right?
Yeah, exactly. So these dynamic tariffs allow you to charge your battery when energy is cheaper, and you can use that throughout the day. So a more basic example to use from an energy provider would be a standard Economy 7 tariff, or even these EV tariffs, which have a period overnight where the energy is cheaper. And you can fill your batteries with this cheap overnight energy and use that all throughout the day, effectively shifting your grid usage to a period where there's less demand on the grid. So this sort of flattens the curve of when people are using energy. So you're shifting your energy usage to a time where there's less demand on the grid, which is good for the grid as well. So that's why they don't mind people, using that cheap overnight energy and storing that in a battery to use all throughout the day. Some people think, oh, well, will the energy providers catch on that people are doing this and stop people from doing it? But actually, it's supported.
They kind of want it to happen.
Yeah. So we're supporting, shifting grid usage to when there's less demand on the grid and less stress on the grid. Okay.
And so the Duracell Energy batteries, let's talk about them. How big are they? So, what is the kilowatt hour storage capacity? Like, what are the choices? So say I have a small, can I put them in a small flat? Do I need a house? Do I need to have solar panels? And how big should I have the battery in my house? I'm sure that all these questions you've heard so many times.
Yeah, no, of course. So our battery is 5.12 kilowatt hours. In the UK, the average home uses around 10 kilowatt hours of energy per day. And this is actually increasing now that EV cars are coming in and air source heat pumps are coming in, shifting from heating with gas, moving that to electric. The whole world seems to be electrifying now, which is really exciting to see. The batteries are 5 kilowatt hours. So on average, we see probably 2 batteries per install, but it's also good for the smaller properties to have the flexibility of having a smaller sized battery as well. I think when we actually look over across the installations, the average is about 1.5 that we sell per home. When you average it out, 1.5 batteries per install. Some people go for 1, some people go for 2, and some people actually go for more.
Okay.
With our new product, you can actually put 32 of these batteries connected to one inverter, which is market leading. Actually, I don't see many other companies who are able to install that many batteries on one inverter. Normally, it's 3 to 5 you see with other companies.
So these batteries do require a separate inverter. So when you buy, or is it just because I think when people see the marketing shots, they just see one single box. But I think there's more involved in it, which is what usually happens with things anyway. But you have to have an inverter, so they're DC coupled batteries. But you've got an inverter that actually does the AC DC.
That's completely correct. Yeah. So the battery itself stores energy in DC, and solar generates energy in DC. However, the home uses AC energy.
Yeah.
So an inverter allows us to convert this DC generated energy to AC so it's usable in the home, and also allows you to convert the energy that's taken out of the battery to AC so that can be used in the home. And vice versa, if you're charging the battery from the grid, that energy is taken through the inverter as AC and goes into the battery as DC. our inverter is a hybrid inverter, so you connect both the solar panels and the battery to the same inverter. So that would go from the solar to battery straight through as DC to DC, which increases efficiency compared to some other brands that have an AC connected system requiring you to have a separate solar inverter, which is useful if you've already got solar panels, of course, because you've already got that inverter there. Yeah. So with our product, we've got options for both. So you can install our inverter alongside an existing solar system, or you can actually connect solar panels directly into the inverter. And this is a great benefit as well if you've already got solar panels and you're looking at installing a battery plus more solar. So you can have the battery charged from both your existing solar system, which already has its own inverter, and you can then install new solar panels into the new hybrid inverter that you're installing using our product. And the battery also connects to that same inverter.
Okay. Like I said, I mean, if this seems daunting to people or complicated, it's really not. And obviously, you get somebody who knows their stuff, does a survey, and then plans out all the options and gives you all the options, so you don't have to think about it if it's too much. But but like I said, having your own inverter allows you to have more batteries. And just think about it this way: if you want to have solar panels and a battery, if the solar panel charges the battery directly without any intermediate steps, that's way more efficient, obviously. But if you don't have solar panels, I don't know how that works out in terms of efficiency. I mean, batteries are always DC; they're never going to be AC anyway. So you're going to need an inverter whichever way it goes. So just going back to the previous point, I presume, because some people's ears might have perked up if they haven't heard about the time of day tariffs and the fact that they can use batteries for that. I presume you're integrating with Octopus and other energy providers. That's the word I was looking for. And you can switch the charging on and off depending on those smart tariffs, right? Is that part of your product?
Yeah, that's correct. So as mentioned, a lot of people are really interested in when buying a solar and battery system to charge their battery from a cheap energy overnight, and are switching themselves to tariffs, which allows them to do that. So we integrate with any variable rate tariff on the market, which is actually something quite unique to our company. So some companies do integrate with the Octopus tariffs, and as do we. However, we have our own software capability in-house, allowing us to integrate with any tariff on the market. That is not Octopus. I've got some notifications going off my laptop there, so I've just closed it now.
Thank you, Windows. Always good to have nice sounds in the background. By the way, we're actually recording at Everything Electric Harrogate. So if there's any background noises or you're hearing people on the loudspeaker, it's because we're at the show. Just in the back room. Anyway, so you can have up to 32 batteries. Obviously, that's a mad amount of storage.
That is a crazy amount of storage, and it's probably more than anyone would go to at this moment of time, particularly with the sizes of inverters that's around. So our inverters range from 3.6 to 6 kilowatt inverters, and the batteries are 1C rated. Now, this is actually quite an interesting point with batteries, and it shows the performance of a battery, of how fast it can charge or discharge. The industry average is around half a C rated. Now,
okay.
to explain what a C rating is in layman terms, which some people might be wondering, is a C rating essentially is how fast you can charge a battery in comparison to the capacity. So, for example, if you have a 5 kilowatt hour battery, which is 1C rated, you can charge and discharge at 5 kilowatts. And if you have a 5 kilowatt hour battery that's half a C rated, you'd be able to charge and discharge that at 2.5 kilowatts. So that means with our product specifically, you're able to install a 5 kilowatt hour battery with a 5 kilowatt hour inverter, and you can charge that battery fully within 1 hour.
Okay, and discharge as well, presumably, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a ratio basically of the charge versus discharge.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know what that means, but that's an interesting way to describe it. Like it's a very simple way to describe it. So with your batteries, you say that the other companies have a C rating. Is there any other things you want to compare? Where do you see yourself if somebody's considering batteries in the UK or outside, but we're talking specifically about the UK. You've got Give Energy, Tesla, and yourselves, and My Energy also do a product. How would you like position yourself within that landscape? Like, what is the unique proposition that you guys have?
Awesome. No, that's a really good question. And when talking about the product and explaining the product, how we differentiate ourselves from other companies, I like to split that into 3 different categories. So we've got a very high performing battery in comparison to others on the market. We provide a very high level of support. So that's really important for homeowners and installers to have a high level of support from the manufacturer. And when we came into the market, we saw that as a bit of a gap. We saw when the company started in 2017, there are a lot of low-performing batteries on the market that were very poorly supported, and we came into the market to try and fill that gap. So Mark, who's the CEO and founder of PureDrive Energy Limited, also my dad, when he started the company, this was the vision. It was to fill that gap of providing a high level of support and to bring in a high-quality product. And further to that, we also have very large software capabilities in-house. So this is the way that the products interact together and integrate with the variable rate tariff. So those are the 3 categories that I like to split those into.
Yeah, the software is the new thing, right? Like everyone's talking about software. Hardware is easy, software is hard.
Yeah, no, exactly.
As a software engineer by day, I can attest to that the software is not that easy. And well, it is easy, but not many people get it right. Put it that way. Just going back to your first point, because I think this is worth reiterating. Like, there's loads of cheaper options or cheap-ish options on the market when it comes to batteries. But that C rating, just going back to your first point, that again is the basically in a nicer way. It's basically like, can you do anything else but put, like, sometimes you buy a battery and if you put the kettle on and a toaster on, that energy is not going to come from the battery anymore because the inverter is unable to output that much power. So you're saying basically 5 kilowatt hours or 5 kilowatts, is sufficient to run a kettle and a toaster basically, or a kettle and an oven, right? Which compared to many Chinese cheap products, put it this way, is a much better offering, right? And with the software integration, I'm just trying to reiterate your point here, is the having an integration with your energy supplier is a great thing because you can dynamically adapt to the market, because in a year or two the tariff landscape could change and we could have another provider that it doesn't exist, or they can integrate or whatever. Like things change dynamically in this industry, so it's good to have if you buy a battery, obviously it's a multi-year commitment, so it's good to have a backing of a company that can support that. So I think that's a good idea. After the break, we're gonna talk about more things from Duracell Energy.
Welcome back to the show.
Yep. So, welcome back after the break. Dan. So, you've got a Duracell Energy on the t-shirt. You mentioned other name before.
Yes.
Let's talk about the history of the company and how you ended up with the Duracell Energy.
For sure.
Or rebranded yourself to whatever the journey is. Just explain that to people.
So as mentioned, our company name is PureDrive Energy Limited, and we're a Duracell authorized licensee. We're a local family-based business based in Cheltenham, which was established in 2017, designing, developing, manufacturing, and distributing initially battery storage systems, and have now introduced an EV charger and a hybrid inverter as well. Duracell approached us in April 2022, and they were looking for a partner to design, develop, manufacture, and distribute renewable energy products, which is exactly what we did. So it was quite a good fit. Phone's ringing there. Apologies for that. After 9 months of them doing quite heavy due diligence on us, they gave us the license to use their brand. So our company name is still PureDrive Energy Limited. However, we now have the license to use the Duracell Energy brand. Duracell really liked both the quality of our battery storage systems and our commitment to providing outstanding support, and thought that would be a great fit for us to represent their brand. After them doing 9 months of due diligence, we got the license and we very quickly came to market in Europe and South Africa. And how we did that very quickly is we were obviously producing the Pure Drive battery, which we were selling in the UK. And we made a few structural changes and a few changes to the firmware of the product, but they were both made on the same production line. So it's the original Duracell Energy battery was very much so based on the Pure Drive product. And we were selling the Duracell Energy battery in Europe and South Africa, and the Pure Drive battery in the UK.
So this basically like removes the confusion. It's all now one merged into one.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So we, in the background, whilst selling both Duracell and Pure Drive, Duracell being in Europe and South Africa and Pure Drive being in the UK, in the background, we have been developing, in conjunction with Duracell's quality processes, a new product, which we're very excited to launch. And we're actually presenting it here at the Everything Electric show today. It's called the Dura 5 battery. It's the product that I've been talking about now that, you can connect up to 32 in parallel, etc. So now that new product will essentially displace the older products that we had, which is what caught the old product is what caught the attention of Duracell. But we've put a few new features in the product. We've made it smaller, lighter. We've managed to reduce the cost quite significantly, and it's far more stackable. So similar to other brands, our original product, you could put 5 together to make 25 kilowatt hours. And with this new product, we can put 32 together. And we've got some really cool ways you can mount this product. So you can either mount it on the wall, or you can actually stack them on top of each other, allowing you to fit a massive amount of capacity in a very small space.
Up to 32.
Up to 32.
That sounds pretty cool. So I have to ask, sorry, I'm imagining people asking questions like, is this a product that you hang on the wall? Because you mentioned, that, or is it stackable as in, do you have to put it in a loft? Like how much space do you need? And what are the configurations? Let's just talk about that briefly.
Yeah, so you can stack them on the wall. So in the box, when you buy the battery, normally the homeowner wouldn't see the battery box because it's installed by an installation company. But within the box, we include everything that the installer needs to do the installation, making it nice and straightforward to install for them. The benefit of this for the homeowner is it reduces the amount of time that the installer spends in their home, and it makes the whole process, there's less rooms for error essentially in the way that we produce the product. We're very well known in the industry to have a very straightforward installation. We've got like a built-in isolator. Everything that you need comes in the box.
Okay.
And that benefits the homeowner in a way that there's less room for error and less chance that the installer will be coming back to visit because they did something wrong on the install or anything like that. So that's a great benefit. But you can stack these, to answer your question, is you can stack these on the wall or you can stack them on top of each other. The most common place and probably the most ideal place for these to be installed is in a garage. Inverters don't really like to be in direct sunlight. And when you put these products, we warranty the products for 10 years. However, if they're in a nice environment, these batteries and inverters can last for, 20, 25 years. We warranty for 10 years for, when people are installing these perhaps in direct sunlight or in places which compromise the ideal performance of the product. So really they're normally installed in a garage. And yeah, you can put them on the wall or stack them on top of each other, fitting a lot of capacity in a small space.
But they have to be indoors, so they can't just be put on the outside external wall.
The products are both are IP60 rated, so you can install them both indoors or outdoors.
Okay, under a waterfall. I'm just joking, but
well, IP65 rating, what that means is it can take water from any direction. So if you were doing some jet washing and cleaning your patio and your battery was installed outdoors, there's no fear in squirting the battery with the power washer to give it a bit of a wash. So The IP rating is 65 rated, so it's completely suitable for that.
Yeah,
and any weather conditions.
Yeah, but like you said, you don't want things to be in direct sunlight. I mean, like any electronic device, it performs better when it's not in direct sunlight. It's just because it gets hot, right?
Yes, that's it.
That's a simple solution. Like the cars are fine because there's multiple layers on top of the car electronics to keep it cooler. But but something like a battery box or inverter, there's fewer millimeters between the outside wall and the outside wall of the product and the actual cells or electronic PCBs or whatever.
So like, particularly if you imagine, if the battery is in a location which gets direct sunlight and it's an extremely hot sunny day, which means the inverter is working at full power, pumping out 6 kilowatts of solar into your home and into your battery. So it's doing its most. And also because it's performing when it's sunny, because it's charged from solar panels. So it's not only performing at a high rate, but that's when the sun's going to be beaming on it, mainly when when the inverter is going to be under stress, essentially, from operating at full power.
Yeah. The other question that I'm sure people will ask is, so you mentioned stackability or expandability. Can I just buy one battery and then add 6 months later another one on top of it and just kind of plug it in? So there are some products that kind of allow you to do that. Where you can just keep on adding as you need or as your budget improves.
Yeah, that's completely correct. So you can start with one and you can expand in the future with no stress at all.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you mentioned you guys became Duracell Energy. What's the other stuff that you mentioned? Unless you want to talk more about the Duracell battery itself or your battery as well. Sorry, Duracell Energy battery. But you mentioned, perked up my ear. You mentioned the EV charger and other products. What is the offering there?
Awesome. So what I like to call our offering is the Duracell Energy Home Ecosystem. And what that is it's a family of products which seamlessly communicate together with the vision to maximize your solar absorption. So to prevent as much as your generated energy as possible going out to the grid. You want to get the most out of your solar rather than, if you have none of these products, on average, only 30% of that energy is used. And using them, you can get 95 or 98+% of that energy generated on your roof, used in your home for your own personal requirements rather than sending it out to the grid. So as you mentioned, not only do we have a battery, but we have got an EV charger, and we're about to be launching a solar diverter as well. And the great thing about the ecosystem is becoming quite a buzzword in the industry. You're seeing more and more people talking about ecosystems. And the reason for that is, and a big driver of the reason why we launched the EV charger was from customer feedback. So people would mainly complain that when they plug their car in, it would drain the energy out of their battery, and they wanted to use that battery all throughout the evening. So by having these products communicating together, they can make smart decisions based on what each other are doing, allowing you to firstly maximize savings, which is great, but also allowing you to have a central point of monitoring where all of these products are monitored through one app in a very nice, easy to read way, rather than having 3 or 4 different apps across different products that you've got in your home, from your solar to your battery to your EV charger to your solar diverter. Puts everything in one nice, clean place where everything is monitored together.
Yeah, I've heard people being not terribly happy with the when they added the battery to the the home. All of a sudden, things just miscommunicate and this drains the power. Like you say, you plug in your car and all of a sudden it takes away all the energy from the battery, but you don't want it to. What if you have excess solar in the and you want that actually go directly to the car when it's plugged in instead of the battery, or the other way around? Like you're having this is one of those cases where having a well-integrated product where everything's from the same brand makes huge sense. But the obviously you don't have to, right? Like if somebody's already has, like I'm thinking about myself, I already have a solar panel or solar panels. I have got a charger from a completely different brand than the solar inverter. Is that going to still work if I add Duracell Energy battery to the mix?
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
it'll work, and a lot of people have that. And But you do get certain benefits by having the same product where they are integrated together. And EV chargers seem to have quite a short warranty span anyway. So people, you could install a battery now and, have the feel good factor that you're future proofed. So you know that this product is installed now, and in the future, maybe my EV charger's got a 3-year warranty, but this battery's got a 10-year warranty, but will likely last 20 to 25 years. So, there'll be a time in the future that you might be getting a new EV charger. If you like your charger that you've already got, you might replace it with the same brand, and that's no problem. Or you could move into more of an ecosystem approach where you've got these products that are communicating through the same app.
Okay. Yeah, integration is great. Like, one of the reasons I use certain brands over other brands when it comes to tech is because they're well integrated.
It's like Apple. You've got, your iPhone works with your iMac. You can copy something on your phone and paste it on your laptop. It's just that magic that, it's a coordinated approach, and the products make smart decisions based on what each other are doing, essentially, with the idea to maximize savings and to make it as easy as possible for the homeowner. That's a big thing that really we've focused on is, you have a lot of people who install these products and, that they're really interested in all the tech and they want to know every single detail of the product. But 90% plus of the market just want to fit and forget. And they want to fit it and know that the product's doing its job and saving the most amount of money possible with as little interaction as possible. So we've got a few cool ways that we do that. So we have, like I've mentioned, the automatic integration with variable rate tariffs. And what this prevents you needing to do is daily analysis of the weather forecast to decide how much to charge your battery by. So what I mean by that is if you've got solar panels and a battery storage system, as mentioned, you're likely to be charging the battery from the grid to make use of that cheap energy overnight. But what you don't want to do is compromise battery capacity where you could have had free energy from solar panels put into it. So if it's a really sunny day, your battery might get to 100% from solar. So in fact, you might not want to take any energy from the grid overnight at all, because why put cheap energy in your battery when you can fill it with free energy?
Yep. Yeah.
But vice versa, in the winter, you get less solar. So you will want to be charging the battery more in the UK, weather is very variable. In the summer, one day it's blazing hot sun, the next day it's cloudy and raining, right? So this means you have to be doing daily analysis, checking the weather in the next day, and editing the settings in your app to control how much energy will charge from the grid to maximize your savings. Now, when this is completely automated, it does a few things. It means you get the best possible savings because it's automated. There's no human error. You're not going to forget to do it. You're not going to do it incorrectly. And it's also completely hassle-free because you don't have to do anything. It does it all by itself. Yeah. So essentially, we're giving the best possible savings with no hassle at all from the homeowner.
Yeah, I think the classic example that I'm sure you've covered as well, but that I hear from people who have batteries and solar, is when there was a couple of days that were grim and horrible. So you obviously didn't do much in the way of solar. So everything's charging from a cheap tariff overnight. But next day is going to be bright and sunny. So you want to deplete that battery, or you want that battery to be depleted in the morning so that it can take all that solar-free energy. And I'm sure you can just do that via magic of software.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
And API integrations and all the other beautiful, rainbows and butterflies up in the sky and cloudy stuff. Cool. So the EV charger, is it just a straightforward 7 kilowatt charger, or do you do a 3-phase charger? That's actually, three-phase charging or 3-phase supply to a house is not something that's ubiquitous in the UK. Like in Europe, it's a normal thing to have when you have a house, to have a 3-phase supply to your house, and not so much in the UK. But is your charger capable of doing 3-phase charging as well, or is it just a single-phase 7 kilowatt hour?
So the product that we've currently got is a 7 kilowatt tethered EV charger.
Okay.
The next product we'll be launching in the EV space will be an untethered version of that 7 kilowatt EV charger. And then following that, we'll go into the 22 kilowatt 3-phase EV chargers. So currently it's just one product, 7 kilowatt tethered, designed for single phase. But as time goes on, we will launch more EV products for untethered and also for 3-phase as well.
It kind of makes sense if you have a battery to just have a single phase charger, right? Because you're going to have unless you have loads of 32 batteries, and that is not divisible by 3. So say you have 30 batteries and you want to have 10 of each. I mean, you need a very complicated inverter then for 3 phases. But let's not go there, because I'm sure your geeky mind goes into all the possibilities.
Yeah. Well, we do have 3-phase solutions as well for both the home, because some homes are 3-phase,
okay,
but also for commercial. So whether that's a small commercial all the way up to large commercial offerings, we do. So with 3-phase, some ways some people do that is they will just install 3 single-phase systems, 1 on each phase. Whereas we have, an inverter which distributes the 3 phases into one battery bank. So you've got one centralized battery bank, and each phase can pull from that battery bank separately. And it's got some great advantages, because if you've got a single-phase system, 1 on each phase, you might have battery storage capacity remaining in your battery on phase 1. However, there's no battery capacity with your battery in phase 2, and phase 2 is pulling energy, and it can't take that from the phase 1 battery.
Yeah.
So by having one battery bank which is connected to all the 3 phases, it allows you to pull energy from the battery bank, whenever it's needed from any phase.
Yeah, and sometimes you have loads that are just single phase, so you can have unbalanced storage. Yeah, I mean, and if you don't know what I'm talking about or we're talking about, don't worry about it.
The products are quite different as well for both single and 3-phase for us. So we have, our single phase is a low voltage battery, and the 3-phase is a high voltage battery. And also some other differences are the single phase battery connects in parallel, and the 3-phase battery connects in series. Now what that means is, with the low voltage battery, which connects in parallel, it's 51.2 volts. So when you add multiple batteries together, that voltage stays the same because they're connected in parallel. Whereas the 3-phase battery is about 70 something volts. I don't know it straight off the top of my head, but it's available on the data sheet, which is on our website. And with that battery, when it's connected in series, the voltage increases as you add more batteries. So that's the main 2 differences between the products, really.
Okay. And I presume the EV charger does like the pure solid diversion as well, right?
That's completely correct. So when we launched the EV charger, we got some really great feedback from both installers on how easy they are to install, but also from homeowners on the user interface of our app. We've got like a homepage of the app, which is the live usage monitor. I'm just looking at it now actually in front of me. I wish you could see what I'm seeing.
I'm sure. Well, we're going to put a link in the description so people can have a look at
awesome.
these things.
Yeah. So the live usage, it's got like a few different bubbles which show everything that's going on. So you can see how much solar is generating. You can see your EV cars. You can see what's going on with the battery, what's going on with the solar diverter, and what's coming to and from the grid as well. And if you click into the EV bubble, it takes you to the EV page. And there's a few different modes. You've got pure green mode. You've got green boost mode. You've got smart mode, and you've got time boost mode. Now, the modes do different things. So you've got pure green mode, which essentially is for people who are heroes and they want to be completely sustainable and only charge their car from 100% green energy. Cars require a minimum startup charge of 1.4 kilowatts they need to initiate a charge. So pure green mode essentially will only charge your car from 100% green energy. So you will have to have 1.4 kilowatts of excess solar available to initiate a charge. And the downside of that is if you've only got 1 kilowatt available, that'll be sent out to the grid and essentially wasted, which is why we have the green boost mode, which is more for money saving. So that will allow you to utilize that 1 kilowatt of excess, and it will top up the remainder from either the grid or the battery, whatever is more suitable to save more amount of money.
Yeah, and you said it's going to be sent to the grid, but potentially might just get in your battery, right? Like,
correct. Yeah.
So
in the scenario where perhaps your battery's at 100, it's middle of summer, battery's already at 100% state of charge. It's coming into the evening, so you're generating less. You're only generating 1 kilowatt of excess. So that's the scenario, really. And that's likely to be, when you get home from work, perhaps, and there's less sun at that time, and you've only got batteries at 100% because it's been charging all day with the sunlight, and you've been out all day, so the energy consumption in the home has been very low. So in that scenario, where you've got 1 kilowatt of excess that's being sent out to the grid, in pure green mode, that would essentially continue to go out to the grid because it needs 1.4 kilowatt of excess to start a charge. And in green boost, it would take that 1 kilowatt and top up the remainder from either the grid or the battery.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, the problem always with all this smart stuff is that if you want to like micromanage it or like think about all the options, there's just so much of it. It's a lot.
Yes.
I'm sure you mentioned that software integration is a magical thing, so I'm sure there's an option for people who don't want to manage too much of it. They can just say, just do your best.
Mm-hmm.
Be green, like you say. There's a couple of options where you can choose the profile, and it will just do the magic for you.
Correct. We've also got like a smart mode and a time boost mode, and these modes can actually be used together. So you can have, for example, green boost mode and smart mode activated at the same time. And what that will allow you to do, so you've got green boost mode, and the green boost mode, as mentioned, will take any excess available and put it into the car and top up the remainder from the grid. And smart mode will ensure that it's utilizing the cheapest energy. So you can select how much capacity you'd want in the car by a certain time. So say you leave for work in the morning at 7 a.m. And you need 20 kilowatt hours being put in the car by then. You can plug your car in, and it will automatically charge at the best periods to get the cheapest available 20 kilowatt hours into that car. So it'll take what it can from solar. It might take some out of the battery, and it might take some out of the grid. So it may wait for the grid energy to become cheaper. So you can then utilize that cheap energy to charge the car without having to think about anything. So again, that's what I've mentioned. We want to make this easy for the homeowner and not complicated at all. You just want to plug your car in and know you're going to get the cheapest, cleanest and greenest energy in your car. So that's what all of our products do, essentially. Without any hassle or thinking about anything, you can just relax and have the peace of mind that both your home and your car is using the cheapest, cleanest and greenest energy that it could possibly do.
That sounds amazing. We're gonna take a break, and then we're just gonna talk about anything else that we have to talk about.
Awesome.
See you after the break. Right. So we were talking about the electric charger before the break and all the other integration stuff, the software magic, right? But so if anybody's interested in seeing more details or actually getting it installed or, finding out more, like, let's talk about the real kind of like, what do I do now?
Sounds good. No problem at all. So along with launching new products with Duracell, we've also launched a new piece of software, which enables homeowners to really quickly and easily get a quote and get an install booked in quite quickly with a really nice customer journey. Duracell is such a big brand, and when we were awarded the license, we really wanted to maintain that and give a really nice customer journey. So with Duracell, you can get a quote in only 30 seconds with no personal details at all. So the get a quote link is on our website and also spread on social media. We've onboarded platinum partners in the UK. And the reason we've done that is because with the Duracell brand, it catches the eye of a lot of installers, and installers will want to utilize the brand essentially to win them new business. And we wanted to prevent that from happening. And we also wanted to ensure that we only had really high quality installers installing our product. And again, providing excellent support is something that's really important to us. And as a company, we know, there's around 5,000 installers in the UK who fit battery products. And even if 25% of those installers came to us to use the brand, then we wouldn't be able to support essentially 1,250 installers. So we got our heads together and thought, right, how many installers as a company can we support very well? And we found that to be around 80 installers, and we've onboarded those installers as platinum partners, and we've handpicked them to ensure that we've got extremely high quality installers who are installing those products, which removes a lot of risk for the homeowner, where unfortunately in the market you do get some dodgy installers who do a quick and low cost install and are there just to make as much profit as possible and be in and out as quick as possible. So we wanted to prevent that from happening because we don't want the brand to be represented in that way at all. So when you get a quote through our quote tool, which is called DEPS, Duracell Energy Platinum Software, So when you get a quote through that, you can get a quote in 30 seconds without putting any personal information besides your address, so you can locate your house. So you can, without speaking to anyone, see roughly how much the system will cost for your home specifically, and also how much money you might save. So this is really useful information to have, and then you can move forward with that if you're happy with the price by booking onto a meeting with one of our platinum partners, at which point, you put in your name, your email address, your phone number, so that installer can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so you get all the questions answers without, because people are worried these days they have to sell their personal information just to get a piece of information they want, and they abandon the approach, quite often. And like you said, the having a good installer is like nobody's gonna. Well, I hope they get you to install it if they could. But the reality is that the reality of the fact is that they're gonna get a random person who's local installer of a particular brand. So that's gonna be the face of the product, to them, like, this is the guy that actually put it in my house. So you want the best person you can get it, and you also you want to make their life easier. So so if people want to find out more, I'm going to put the link in the description. And I'm sure you've got a very good social media where I saw you guys this morning recording a video. I don't think you were there, but there were other people on your stand recording an awesome video with like an entrance to the building. It looked pretty cool.
That would have been my brother, Oliver.
So I'm sure you've got a pretty good representation there. Anything else to wrap it up and to push people to your site?
No, that's all for me really. Thank you for having me on here, and I hope the listeners enjoyed it.
I hope people learned something. Like there's going to be a quiz at the end. No, I'm just joking. As always, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for giving us your time. And check out all the details in the description. Check out Duracell Energy, and if you have any questions, send them to Dan or Duracell. But you can also email me, takeitev@gmail.com, and I'll see you on the next one.